Hey guys, Brad here, and today we're going to take a look at a really good way to screw down floors. This is the Quick Drive Pro CCS Plus by Simpson Strong Tie. Now, these are awesome if you're screwing down subfloor or if you're doing drywall. These have been around a really long time, and this is my second kit actually that I've had over the years, and they're really good. The next best thing would be ballistic nails, which I've been a huge fan of, and so this is kind of taking a spot on the shelf. But if you don't want to spend the money on a ballistic gun, or you don't have the use for it, then this is your next best thing. This will save your back, and it just speeds up everything. So let's take a look at what comes in the kit. They give you a DeWalt drill. They give you a bag. This bag holds your screws like that, and then you can just put it on your tool belt. So just hang it off there, because you plow through these screws pretty darn quick. So the kit gives you two ends, all right? It gives you the 300S and the 200S. So the 200S will shoot or screw 1 inch to 2 inch, and the 300S will screw 1.5 to 3 inch. So I just wrote it down on the actual units themselves because it's easy to forget, and if you put the wrong size screw in, it's, you don't want to jam these up. It's a real pain in the butt if you do jam this gun up. I've actually, one of my buddies was using, I believe it's the 200S on my other gun, and I will point out something extremely important, probably the most important thing about this tool. Put the screws in properly. Okay, there's an arrow right here. That is the side that goes in. If you do it in reverse and you put the tail end in first, it will jam up, and if you're unlucky like me, it'll destroy your gun. And it did. It just completely destroyed the mechanism in here, because the way these work is they slide back and forth. There's a spring, but it jammed something up in here so bad and wore it out that it didn't want to spring back. It just kind of sticks, right? Like you can see that really wants to come back. So it takes a lot to mess this up, but putting it in backwards, I think that's how you do it. So don't do that, all right? Now, as far as types of screws, it's, I think it's almost endless. You can get so many different types of screws for this gun. I can't even name them all, but you've got your zinc screws for starters, so all different sizes. These are 1 3/4. And like I said, this one goes up to 3 inches, so that's your max, okay? Your max is 3 inches, and your minimum is 1 inch. So that's the range. So zinc screws, you can get pretty much all those lengths. You can get them in treated screws, drywall screws, different thread coarseness, like fine or coarse, decking screws. There's just so many. You'll have to go online or get their little booklet, and it'll tell you what you can get. So for us, I've only ever used drywall and floor screws. That's all we've ever done. I've never used it for decking. So let's get into the bits themselves, okay? If you want to come on in here. Now, let's put them out on the table here. So they give us a Torx bit and a couple Robbies, number 1 and 2, and then some extras, as well as Phillips, okay? So they go into here like this. There's a bit in here. Basically, there is a little ring, little snap ring right around the base of this. So you put this in, and you got to smack these down. So I'm just going to do it on my drill press here. All right, and that's how you get them in. So that's locked in place. Now, once the bit gets dull, very easy to take out. On either one of these cartridges or magazines, or not magazines, what am I saying? Screw ends, they've got this little hook, and it basically fits into this little hole here. See the little hole? So this hook slides in here, and then you rotate it up, and that's how it shoots out your bit. And then you're ready to put the next bit in. Same thing, you got to smack it down. All right, so very easy to do. They also give us some ends. So these are what you want to use when you're doing subfloors, okay? Because it's got a bit of a grip. Don't want to do this on decking because it'll mar up your deck. Don't want to do it when you're drywalling for the same reason. And they go on right here. So they will bite into the plywood or OSB, whatever you're putting in, and keep your nose from walking on you, from slipping around. So they give us some extra ends. Okay, so we have 1 3/4 inch screws. Now, there's two ways you can use this gun. You can use it just directly on here, okay, like this. And then, so this is just a drywall gun, right, guys? So you hold it like you hold a drywall gun. These two fingers on the top, and these two fingers down here. And then if you were doing drywall, you know, boom, 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 doing the drywall. If you're doing the drywall on the walls, you can even do the deck this way. The screws, they just clip in. Super easy. And then to release them, there's a little tab here. So you just push that in, it comes out. So it's in, it's locked in, and out. Super easy. Okay. Then to take it off the gun, both of these ends have this silver locking clasp here. So you just push it in, and then that comes right off. Now I forgot to tell you something. Always put your bit in first. Okay. I didn't mention that. And then you put this on. Okay, now you're good to go. But we're not going to use this. We're going to use the actual extension pole. And another thing I'll point out before we get into it is this is your depth of adjustment right here. So this just rotates. I just got to do it from my side here. Yeah, you push that forward. This is brand new, so it's a little stiff. There we go. Okay, so then you can just rotate this around. I had it. There we go. There we go. This thing's just a little bit stiff on me. So you pull that forward, and then you can rotate your depth of adjustment for your screws. So this is the extension, and it just goes into the drill like so. Now you want to make sure that that's seated down properly, because a lot of the times you can get this on here, but it's not seated correctly and it just doesn't work. Now this is a reverse thread to lock the handle in. All right, so now we're locked in. Then we put our bit in the end. That's locked in place. And this one here is 1 inch to 2 inch. We're going to be using 1 3/4. So that falls within our spectrum here. Now, you can put this on anyway, 360 degrees, whatever way you like to have your screw sticking out. I like to line it up with the magazine side to the left. That's just me. That's just how I've always done it. So you lock that in place, take your screws, slide them in, and we're good to go. Now I haven't adjusted the depth on this, so the first few screws that we're going to put in might be totally wrong. They might not go in all the way, they might go in too far, but there's only one way to tell, right? Then we'll plug this in. And because this is a drywall gun, we just want to press the trigger down and have continuous run. So we're not constantly pulling the trigger. If you do that, your RPMs are not up high enough, and what will happen is you can start to strip your bits. You will not screw your screws in properly. So you just want to make sure that this thing is on and running, and you're just pushing, and that's it. That's all you do. And if you've done a house with this, you'll know after a while you might want to start to push with your legs as opposed to pushing down, because you will start to just tense up by like the end of the day. All right, guys, so we're just gonna screw into this 4x6 here. It's pouring rain out, so it's a little wet, but essentially, this is remove tab. Okay, so we just want to make sure that we're going in the right direction, not in reverse. Okay, we got that. And then make sure that this is on all the way, like so. We're locked in place. Okay, let's give it a try, see how these screws set. Okay, setting pretty good. Little deep, but good enough for this demo here. So, if you were to do this by hand, I don't know, it's pretty slow. You guys all know how slow it is to screw in screws by hand. So I'll just show you how fast this is, all right? So I just pull the trigger down. See? Piece of cake. So I almost went through the whole clip. And then again, if I want to take the clip out, push this little lever here, and it'll come right out. And that's it. So, as you can see, the screws, these are sitting, I don't know, 3/16 deep, a little deeper than that. So it's a little too deep, but you get the idea. So if you're into doing decks, drywall, floor sheathing, highly recommend you getting one of these. I'm more into the ballistic nails myself for doing flooring, but this is my backup for sure. And I've used these guns for a real long time. I wish I started using them sooner in my career, but at the time, you know, they were expensive and my boss didn't want to buy one, so I suffered. But, you know, live and learn. It's all good. But yeah, highly recommended, guys. And if you're into drywall, these are good too. There are way better guns than this, I find, for drywalling. For example, the DeWalt drywall gun, okay? This thing, I've done a review on it as well. I would pick this over the Quick Drive, hands down, for doing drywall screws. This is a lot lighter. It's cordless and a bunch of other stuff. So check out the review if you want, but that's the one I recommend for doing drywall. But if you're trying to figure out which one to buy and you're doing both drywall and subfloors, then go with this. You know, if you only have a certain amount of dollars to spend, go with this, because you're going to be able to do both and you're going to save your back. This also allows you, if you're doing really high ceilings, you can do drywall this way, okay? So super plus to having this extension on here. It's just really, really handy to have. For me, you know, I'm a tall guy, so I'm usually holding the drywall up, but if you're on a crew, I don't know, maybe two guys are holding the drywall and one guy's just screwing, or maybe you just tack boards up and you go through after and you screw off with this, then you don't need to be getting up on a ladder. So that's where a gun like this could be really beneficial. You just have a laborer or someone go through and just plow off all the screw lines. Well, You've got the skilled dudes just, you know, putting up board. So lots of different angles, different ways you can approach it, but just some food for thought. So I hope you guys liked the review. Please leave me a comment down below if you did or if you didn't. What are your thoughts on the quick drive? I know there's other brands out there too, Makita, Milwaukee, whoever. They all have them. But yeah, let me know what you think. Till then, just give me a thumbs up and comment and subscribe and all that other good stuff. Till next time, keep on crushing it, and we'll catch you later.